Hello and welcome back to the channel. A lot of news around Warner today, and this is something that came out a while ago, and I thought, I should cover this. I didn't cover this on the channel back then. I think it's worth covering. This is the why Wokies absolutely hate David Zaslav. Now, Warner Brothers Discovery leadership team draws ire over diversity. Okay, this should be an interesting one. Let's get into it. As David Zaslav prepared to take over Warner Discovery, one of the largest media companies in the world, he told friends in Hollywood that he would hire the best people he could find. Gender and racial diversity, while a factor, would not be his top priority, he said, according to multiple people. In other words, he's looking for performance, not people who check a bunch of boxes. This should not be a big surprise. Discovery bought Warner, not the other way around. Now, his methods have resulted in a notable amount of homogeneity at the top of the new media giant. What do they mean by that? All right, 6 seats on the new company's board. Zaslav and Discovery appointed a roster of all white male directors. Oh no, okay, well, look, they're appointing people because they're people that they trust. They're appointing these directors because these directors apparently know what they're doing. Again, who bought who? Discovery bought Warner because Warner couldn't manage their fucking business. The majority of the chief executive's 13 direct reports, many of whom were recent hires, are white men. Oh no, well, you know what? The majority of people in the United States are white men. In any case, meanwhile, Zaslav in April fired Warner Brothers chief Ann Sarnoff, one of the highest ranking women in Hollywood. And where did that get her? She released wonderful movies like Wonder Woman 1984 and Birds of Prey. And she didn't exactly have a strong track record going for her when the merger came around. Now, without filling her role, and he replaced Warner Media's heads of communications and finance with, again, white men from Discovery. Okay, so look, he's not going in and firing everybody who's not white, but he's not putting people in place because they check a box. This guy has people that he trusts, he has people that he wants to put in place, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. Of course, that's going to piss off anyone from the wokey cultural diversity, equity club. But I think it's important for corporations to be diverse, to have a diverse set of thinking, though, over everything else. There is no inherent advantage to anyone in their job, performing their job because they're a woman, or because they're a man, or because they're black, or because they're white. So I can't say that David Zaslav is simply trying to get rid of all the people of color at Warner and try and replace them all with white men. Although that seems to be the assertion that Bloomberg is making here. Instead, what I think he's doing is simply filling roles with people who have talent and who perform at a high level. Lawmakers and advocacy groups say these staffing changes have heightened concerns that Discovery is bringing its poor track record on diversity since merging with Warner Media in April. Well, let me just say again, who bought who, all right? This merger, you call it a merger, but essentially Discovery was in the position to take over and buy Warner from AT&T. Discovery over the years has done a poor job in terms of Latino representation in almost every facet of their business. On screen, behind the camera, executives, and so forth. I feel for everybody who is going to end up losing their job, but I can't say that they have provided any proof that David Zaslav is a racist and is just trying to get rid of people of color. Maybe if you're just really good at your job, then you don't have anything to fucking worry about. Warner Media, on the other hand, had established innovative ways of helping to diversify the company. Again, I'd say what company was doing well and what company wasn't. These guys had their heads up their asses focused on diversity instead of focusing on doing their fucking jobs, which is providing entertaining content and media to the masses. A Warner Brothers Discovery spokesperson told Bloomberg News that the company is committed to diversity and will build on programs already in place. He declined to speak further about hiring practices. This is interesting here. When the announcement of the board was made, LULAC was deeply disappointed. Now, LULAC is the League of United Latin American Citizens. Is this even a fucking American coalition or what? It sounds like some fucking, foreign entity or something. Who gives a shit? Jesus. The company has not yet agreed to commit to... They're trying to get them to commit to diversifying its workforce. Oh my God. And who's going to oversee that? LULAC? When the announcement of the board was made, LULAC was deeply disappointed that there were no Latinos represented, but completely ignored the fact that the board had 3 women and 5 people of color. Nothing is ever fucking good enough for these people. Nothing. Though executives close to Zaslav rejected the claims that its behavior fits into any kind of pattern. No one has accused Warner Brothers Discovery of malice or overt discrimination. Let me repeat that line. No one has accused Warner Brothers Discovery of malice or overt discrimination. Now, that's buried way down at the midpoint of this article. We've been alluding to the fact that Zaslav is somehow a racist and is going to fire all of the minorities and replace them all with white males. And yet, here we have this sort of thing that seems to reject that and be proof that that's not the case. Whatever. Boosting representation of minorities and women is a business imperative for the entertainment industry. I think it's imperative to have stories that represent minorities and women, but those stories need to be actual stories. They need to be stories that actually represent cultures, that are actually something that people of those cultures want to see and watch. And they don't need to be just generic stories that are actually fucking terrible, but we put a bunch of check-the-box people in it, so it's all good. Now, movies like Black Panther, I don't know why they are quoting that in here, Crazy Rich Asians, Jordan Peele movies, have time and again proven there is serious money to be made in getting women and minorities on all sides of the camera. Again, I agree that you should be telling diverse stories. You should be telling stories that represent lots of different cultures. That's a good idea. Now, you don't want to tell stories that only maybe represent a very small niche that you don't think you can make money from. But I would say telling a story that may present a culture like Crazy Rich Asians, but it still appeals to wider masses, there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's actually good business. Let's see, what else they have. Zaslav isn't unfamiliar with lucrative upside in reaching new and different audiences. Okay, in 2008, he partnered with media mogul Oprah Winfrey. Oh, but he's a racist, remember? To start her new TV network. Actually, I think that's proof that Zaslav's not a racist, that he's just out to make money, and that he prioritizes performance and projects that he think will be successful. Basically, let's see, what does this say? We're looking carefully to see what Warner Brothers Discovery does in the coming months. It says Benavides. I don't know who that is. They could tell us a fairy tale, but if it doesn't follow with action, that's what we monitor most closely. Oh no, they're being monitored. Oh, scary sounds. Rah, rah, rah. All right, whatever. Look, I think this is just a hit piece, essentially, because David Zaslav is out to make money. He's not out to represent the narrative or the message, especially not in hiring practices where he's trying to hire people who will actually help the company to make money. This was apparently the MO for Warner, and we see where that got them. It got them acquired. We also see that they had some movies that really fell on their face, and they have fallen far from the days when they had great hits like, I don't know, the entire Harry Potter franchise, which, if you haven't noticed, is an incredibly diverse franchise. There's, people of all kinds in the movie. And yet, movies are good and they focus on storytelling. So I don't know how much I believe the whole Zaslav is a raging closet racist and is trying to fire all the minorities at Warner. What do you think? Zaslav is secretly the head of the supremacists, or is this really just a case of people looking to, do the thing that they always do where they blame the supremacists for everything and don't point out the fact that Warner, as a movie studio, was leading a giant black hole of negative value under Ann Sarnoff. And CEO and successful person, David Zaslav, who was leading Discovery, was making a lot of money. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in helping to continue Smash the Narrative, then smash the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.